Hello there. This is me, Shadow Tiger, and here I am here to discuss, a previous video. What is Skullcat from Super Animal Royale? In that video, I didn't do a great job. I didn't really do any research, so here I'm doing a retackling of the subject, and let's get into it. If you have watched my channel before, you'll know who that purple dashing fellow is. And I'm not talking about myself, because that would be a bit rude. I'm talking about the Super Skull Cat from Super Animal Royale. It's a skull with a cat's body. Surprise, surprise. But what animal is it? It's always mentioned as, a new genetic mutation, but is it a real animal? And how can we find out? Well, on screen right now, this is the taxonomical hierarchy. This is the chart. It is split up into 8 sections: domain, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus and species. The domain is split into 3. It has bacteria, archaea and eukarya, which is split up in kingdom, then split up even more in phylum. When we get to class, for, animals, it is split up into either birds, mammals, reptiles, fish, etc. Then order, family, genus, species, it gets really deep into their, everything about them to funnel them down to species. So, let's look at a filled out one of the human species rank. Us humans are in the Euchera, then in the Animalia, Chordata, Mammalia, Primates, Hominidae, Homo and Sapiens. The Animalia is, an inclusive genus for every animal. The Chordata means we have to have a larval stage and adult stage, or a primary physical characteristic that distinguishes us from everything else. Mammalia, surprise surprise, means we're a mammal. Primates means we're a primate. Then Hominidae means great apes. And everything in the Hominidae family is a omnivore. And, Homo sapiens is just our species name. We had other Homo animals, but they died out, like Homo Neanderthal, etc. So we are the only Homos left on the planet. That sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? But how did that help me, you might be asking? Well, it did. It basically explained to you what this chart is, because this is basically the entire video. Click away if you do not like long explanations about kingdoms and stuff. Now, let's look at the Skull Cat. Now, after that explanation, let's start with the easiest. Euchera, Animalia and Chordata. These 3 are all the same things that most animals are in, so I'm not going to expect it to be different, and it's going to come to, deeper stuff when we are going to slowly figure out what it is. And as it's obviously a cat, I will kind of bias my information based off, is it a cat? Because it probably is a cat. The next 3 is Mammalia, Carnivora and Felidae, the same 3 things which cats are in. Honestly, I don't know how I would decide that Super Skull Cat is a reptile or something. Now is the genus. This was quite difficult to figure out, but stick with me, it's going to take a second. See, there are 2 possible areas for it to go into. It's either Felis or Neophelis. Let's start with the Felis, because that is where cats are in. So if there's anywhere Skullcat might be, it is the Felis family. Wikipedia describes Felis as having high and wide skulls, short jaws and narrow ears with short tufts, and their pupils contract to a vertical slit. I'll go through each of those things one by one and use that as some proof towards it being a felis and not being a felis. Let's start with having high and wide skulls. This can be easily debunked as in-game their heads are probably the same size as every other Super Animal Royale character. But I'm not going to debunk that one fully. But we're going to move on to the next point, which is short jaws, which is mostly true. Look at those jaws. They're quite small, but if you remember that most Super Animal Royale characters don't even have jaws, then this is the largest jaw in Super Animal Royale. Now, this is where a tad bit of debunking comes in. Narrow ears with short tufts. Their ears aren't narrow, they are wide, and they don't even have tufts on them. But what about the Neophelis? Well, here is the description for this one. I did find it pretty odd that this part is a lot longer than the Felis one, but here's all the quotes. Gray described the genus Neophelis as having a elongate skull, a broad and rather produced face on the same plane as the forehead, end quote. Lower canine teeth with a sharp cutting hinder edge. This skull has resemblance to that of the fossil Smilodon, with very much elongated upper canines. As with the Felis, I'll look into these claims starting with an elongated skull. It's not really elongated, as I said, it is the same size as every other Super Animal Royale character. Next is the part about the Smilodon. As you can see by my markings, it has the same little heart shape at the top, and it has the same kind of curvature around the cheeks. The final part is about the very much elongated upper canines, which there is for a Super Animal Royale character. This is the only Super Animal Royale character which we see with actual teeth. So I'll say this claim is true, meaning that Super Animal Royale Skullcat is a Neophelis. Now, there is only 2 species of Neophelis, so it's going to be really easy to narrow down the Super Skullcat. Here we go. Here's the first one. Its name is the Clouded Leopard, and here is all the evidence towards and against it. These are quotes from Wikipedia. The canine teeth are exceptionally long, the upper being about 3 times as long as the basal width of the socket. The upper pair of canines measuring 4 centimeters or 1.6 inches or longer. The clouded leopard is often referred to as a modern-day saber-toothed tiger because it has the largest canines in proportion to its body size. The canine teeth are exceptionally long. This can be easily debunked because it's not as wide as the socket. See, the red line is the socket of the teeth, and then the other red line is how long the socket of the teeth is compared to the actual tooth. To prove/disprove the canine measurements, we need a AK-47 from Animal Royale. This game has guns, which means we can use them to measure how big or small someone's teeth are, or any body part, honestly. AK-47s are 87 centimeters long, and, well, when you put one up against him, it's only half of the buttstock. That means it must be about 6 centimeters tall. And that is it on the Super Skullcat research. Let's move on to the second one, which are Sumpter clouded leopards. I know it sounds similar, but they are in the same genus. Just as before, I'm going to tell you the quotes, and they're all from Wikipedia. Its canine teeth are 2 inches or 5.1 centimeters long, which in proportion to the skull length are longer than those of any other living cat. Its tail can grow to be as long as its body. As we proved earlier with a bit of AK-47 action, the tooth is 6 centimeters long, so the red part is true. Then the tail can be to grow as long as its body. We need a helper. More importantly, the Egyptian skull cat, whose tail is very long and I can actually use it as a ruler much better. As we can see, that claim is true. Well, at least for the super skull cat. Meaning, well, we need to actually see who got the most right. Here we go. Here is my point scoring board. It'll give a point for everything the genus got close to the super animal Royale skull cat. So let's start off with alternating points. Clouded leopard gets 1 for teeth size. So does the Sumatra clouded leopard. And Sumatra clouded leopard gets 1 for size of tail against body. That means the Sumatra clouded leopard is officially super skull cat Animal Royale thing's official real animal species thing. Here is my very cute art of a super skull cat Neo Sumatra clouded leopard. Here is the finished chart of super skull cat. It is a Sumatra clouded leopard, officially done. Close the books. I don't know, well, at least in real life it would be classed as a Sumatra clouded leopard. That's it, close the books. Peace.